just came from a pretty good workout, and it kind of dawned on me to have a conversation about the Right Improvement Group and some of the business dynamics that we focus on. And part of that is ensuring that an organization, the company's processes and procedures are pretty well synchronized. Because if they're synchronized, then the leadership can get in there and figure out a good methods to have a balanced work environment. And part of that is the fact that here at TWIG, the Right Improvement Group, and I discussed collaborations and everything earlier in an earlier video, how we take pride in collaborating with companies and leaders, and also, team members. One of the main focuses is the fact that in order to be a good leader, you have to want to do it. I know that might sound like a cliche, or might sound like, come on, everybody wants to do it. Well, no. Sometimes the job requires it to be done a certain way. And we tend to try to fit in that mold that the organization wants that leader to reflect, right? To be. And sometimes, as humans, we're just not built to be in that cookie cut dynamic, right? And saying that, think about it. If we are, I'm not going to use the word force, but if we're kind of directed to be this way, like this, at all times, it takes away from our originality that we have as a human and as a person wanting to do good in an organization, to help that organization provide good services and products to their customers. So let's say that. Let's say the organization, the company wants you to be a certain way as a leader or team member. And it's difficult. It's a difficult evolution. It's a difficult assimilation of you, right? Sometimes it can be a long, enduring process that takes from your core being. And this is what I'm talking about. Say you're good, right? And you have good intentions, and the organization, because they provide certain services for their customers, being good is not always part of the business model. It's a few things to that, right? It's a few things that can be done in this situation because your skills and talent might be exactly what the organization needs in order to be successful and provide this service to their company or their customers. So let's say, man, you're supposed to be a cutthroat, get it done now, multitasker, do 50 different things at once, and no work-life balance, no even partial work-life balance, meaning the company wants every waking hour that you possibly can give focused on their products and services they provide their customers. This can be tiring, not only physically, but mentally. So let's say an organization is like that. If I'm a leader or the owner in that organization, how could I make sure that someone that's highly skilled and talented be able to tailor their leadership style to benefit the organization, right? And not have to be that model of, this is the 99 steps of our leadership model, hurry up and get into this model. That could be very stressful for an individual. But me as an owner or a leader in that organization, for one, I have to determine if that's good for me as a human, as a person, and with my values and my character traits. I have to determine, man, is this a good fit for me? And we all have bills to pay, right? We have bills to pay. But how can I make it where it's less stressful, it supports my team, and get the job done for the organization? One of the best ways is, I would say, simplicity. The Right Improvement Group, we focus on simplicity. That's one of our key dynamics that we try to get our partners, our clients, to see that, hey, let's keep it simple. And sometimes that's easier said than done, right? Let's say that. That's easier said than done. What makes my team do their job well, great, subpar? Identify those 3 areas. And sometimes the subpar could be something that I'm doing, or it could be a challenging task to the team that we hadn't been trained properly, or I'm not going to say trained properly, we need more time training and understanding that task or that process. We do it well, I mean, there's a decent balance to where the entire team sees success. The entire team has their own individual dynamics that are being groomed so they feel comfortable. Being excellent at what we do. That's when it's just operating on all cylinders, right? The leader is communicating well. The team is understanding what's expected well. The customer is communicating, hey, this is what I need, because we've done a good business need assessment. So we get to understand and build that relationship with the customer. So as a leader, I have to understand which one of those need the most time to understand the why of. I know it might sound kind of vague, but why does my team not produce at all times? And then I need to create programs or training sessions to go in there and help them and help myself, because I'm communicating with them. I'm directing them. I'm assisting them. I'm mentoring them. I'm guiding them. So it's a thing where we all have to be part of that process to improve. So that's one thing, simplicity. The other thing is, and the main thing is, I have to want to be part of that team. I have to want to be a leader. I have to like the organization I work for. And not like in a manner to where it's emotional liking, even though like may be sort of emotion, but it has to be where I feel comfortable that I have a good safety net here where my leaders and my team support me when I'm not on all cylinders. That's important. That's an important thing as well. Where does my support come from? And you have to want to be that individual that's part of that team, or a leader, or even the owner. You have to truly want it. And from my observation, a lot of times, I'm not going to say a lot of times, but sometimes it's about profit. Sometimes it's about customer satisfaction. Sometimes it's about just do your job and go home. And usually that's a high turnover rate with employees when it's an environment like that. In some ways, those organizations accept that high turnover rate as compensation. Hey, we're going to pay you a lot of money, even though we're going to wear you out in 3 months. And then the next person to come along, because we've marketed this organization as the organization to be in, right? The organization to always be in. So you have to want it. Do you want it? Do you want to be where you are? Do you want to lead people? Do you want to support leaders? Do you want to make sure that you support the organization's mission plan, mission statement, their goals? Do you even know what those goals are? And let me say something about simplicity, but there is such a term as overly simplified. Yeah. And this is what I mean by that, is that I've been with an organization or organizations that they have 5 principles. They have 8 core values. They have 8 environmental dynamics. They have 9 process improvement traits that everyone should adhere to. That can get, it might be simple when you're reading that one thing, but just think about when you throw all those things in a bowl, you have maybe 5, 6 or more things. I'm just calling them things because every organization is unique and they have their own things that they drive their customer base, their employees to meet or to deliver. And a lot of times those words within those principles or dynamics or statements, man, they're amazing. They're good. You know, they're great. And that's what I'm talking about. The oversimplification is that each one by itself is, man, you can't beat it. But when you put all of those dynamics and all those things together, all those quotes, all those principles, all those pillars together, it can get kind of confusing on where do I use this at? When do I use it? How do I use it? How do I synchronize all of them and know that I'm meeting or achieving the standard? Oversimplification. We can look at that in a couple ways. Of course, one way could be the organization, the company is trying to cover their rear end. Like, hey, I provided everything possible for this employee to succeed. And we know success doesn't come in pillars alone. Success doesn't come in quotes alone. Success doesn't come in the assumption that everybody is following these quotes or pillars or processes. Success comes in the individuals wanting to care for others, not only the customers, but care for the employees as if it was them, right? Oversimplification can be amazing on paper. It can be outstanding in marketing. It could be comforting to a customer, but it can be detrimental to a work environment as well. And why do I say that? Because leaders can use it as a do this, you need to get these things done, and I need to see you doing them. Which I don't think a leader is around a team member long enough to see them do all those things. Now, and then another question is, are you doing them? And the first thing you have to say is, yes, I'm trying my, you don't say, yes, I'm trying my best. You say, yes, I'm doing them. And, well, how are you, is it going okay? Yes, it's going okay. But on the inside, it's like I hadn't had time to do it because guess what? The leader has a job too. The team member has a job too. And implementing those dynamics of those pillars and processes for the environment, work environment, sometimes that's not even that. When do you visit that, right? How often can you really sit down and say, yes, I went by all these 5 things and I do it every day? Or I do it weekly. That can be a difficult task for an individual, leader or not. So that's that oversimplification that we have to really take a look at it and see how much things are we presenting or that we require of our employees that make the simple difficult. Oversimplification. And the Right Improvement Group, that's one thing that we take pride in, is to simplify everything that we possibly can without taking away from what we're supporting and helping the company achieve without taking or stripping the company down from its core foundation of what it was built on. But we just bring it to the attention of the leadership and the team that how much of this do you truly need to be successful and to deliver a high quality products and services to your customer? How much do you really need? Those customers come in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, say, hey, can I have one of your products? What is it going to cost my company or me to get it? Are there any discounts? Do you have a loyalty program? And that customer just wants good quality. And that's one of the things that the Right Improvement Group focuses on, is that always simplify, give the best possible quality at all time. And it has to be reproducible, right, by everybody in that company. No matter what role they play a critical role to provide those good products and services. So that's very important. Now let's get to one of those things that is rarely talked about but always thought about. Are you truly happy with what you do in your organization, your company? What's holding you there? Is it responsibilities? Is it the hope that one day that you will ascend to the top of the leadership tier? Is it giving back to the community? Is it, making sure that, are you breaking ground in your family? Because opportunity is not always available for everyone, and we know this, right? Why are you at your company? What is your why for that employment experience? Is it building blocks for something else that you want to do? Or are you using one job to develop yourself for another job? Which makes total sense to me. You shouldn't be unemployed developing yourself to get another job you want. You should use one job to fine-tune your skills and either get another job or position in the same organization. It's a different job no matter what, if you're in the organization or you go outside the organization for employment. Are you happy? Or are you just, winging it? I'm happy to be here. I would say to you, make sure that you are satisfied with your employment, your career progress, to the manner to where you care about those around you. You care about the people that you support. You care about the organization, products and services they provide for the customer. You care about being accountable and responsible for your position and duty requirements and responsibilities. So make sure that you feel good when you go in that day, when you come home that day. Make sure you feel good about what you're providing. That's important.